Hey folks, Dave back here, and I'm finally going to do kind of my official review, I guess, of Stratomatic PC Baseball. I'll call it first thoughts. I've got about, geez, what have I got? 15, 20 games in. I don't have a huge sample size, but I think it's big enough that I can actually talk about the game. Some things I like, maybe some things I don't like in the whole bit. And so I want to get down some thoughts here on the channel on that. And again, what I like to do a lot of times is when I first start playing a game, I like to get my initial thoughts out. Then after I play it a bunch more, then maybe I talk about, so my thoughts have changed, or for better or for worse after I play a game for a longer time. But I always like to get initial thoughts out, just because again, they're initial thoughts, my first few plays of the game. Alrighty, so let me do this right here. So I got my screen up here. I'm kind of hiding some of the stuff here right next to me, but that's okay. So let me get some initial thoughts here. First thing is, it's a Stratomatic game, and you just got to kind of go with the flow with Stratomatic games. Um, it's the Strat way, is what it is, and it's you got to learn a whole new program here, because it's almost like computer programs nowadays, they're all kind of, I don't want to say they're cookie cutter, but they all have certain things in common. So you always have a starting place. Okay, you can orientate yourself to the certain menus and how it's laid out and how it works. That's just the way it is. That's the smart way to do it. If you come out with something that's completely different, a lot of people aren't going to know what to do. So Strat kind of does that. Some of the stuff is familiar, but a lot of it is the Strat way. In fact, with all four of their games, I have all four of their games. I got the hockey first, and then I got the basketball, then I got the football, then I got the baseball. And starting games is very different in all of them. Not like ridiculously different, but then it doesn't feel like the same to me. It just seems like football. I have a hard time finding out how to start a football game. When I get in and poke around, it's like, oh yeah, there it is. The hockey, because I play it the most, I know how to do the hockey game. And the basketball's similar to hockey. Baseball's a little different. It's not impossible, but it's the Strat way. So that's my first thing I noticed, is that Stratomatic PC Baseball does it different than their other three games, and different than some of the other games that I've played. Um, and I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying that they do it their own unique way. So that was my first thing when I opened it up. I will say I think it's easier to find things in baseball than in football. Football, I have a real hard time. Now, I haven't spent a lot of time in the football either, so as I do it and learn things, it'll get better, I would imagine. But quite honestly, the football I find to be the most difficult out of all of them. Just That's just me. Um, so anyway, going now back to the baseball game. Some of the things that I really like in the game is, I love the fact you can roll your own dice. That's a big deal. It really is, and I really wish that the hockey would do that. It's just so fun having the dice off to the side and rolling your dice here, or maybe even if you want to use ball roller or fuel. I know they have a dice thing in the game, but I just like throwing my own dice down, and because then I know that you don't have to worry about, is the computer pulling any fast ones. I roll my own dice, and I get, I see the results. And some of my results have not been good in some of my initial games. And I know I'm not doing anything wrong, because I'm seeing the dice land in the dice tray, right? And I've tried different dice. I've tried the square dice. I've tried the dice with the rounded corners, and I'm still it's just not going well for me. But again, that's what happens when you first fire up these games, and that's what happens when you have the roll of the dice, as they say. But the fact that you can roll your own dice is fantastic in this game. In fact, a lot of the reasons I'm playing this game is because I wish they did this for hockey, and so I'm enjoying all the things in this game, even though it's baseball, that I'm like, man, I really wish this was hockey. But because this has so many cool features, I'm playing it. All right, so moving right along here. Again, one of the other negatives, it's the outdated graphics. It is. It's all the Strat games are very stripped down, very basic. I think they could be modified to handle a bigger screen, especially the hockey. Um, but yeah, but the baseball, it's okay. You can stretch everything. So I mean, the baseball is kind of good with all that stuff there. But yeah, it is. it's not the most modern look. In fact, it's not a modern look at all, but it works. Okay, that's the one thing about Strat. It works, and playing it is fun, and you kind of you get used to it, I guess, and you don't have to like it, but you do get used to the graphics that come with Strat and the menus and how it's laid out. It's I wish it was better, but again, it's something that it's easily forgiven once you stop playing the game. Um, Let me see. The reason I play this game is hey, Cleveland baseball fan, thanks for stopping by. The reason I play this game is it's because it's different than other games. I'm playing this as more of a cards and dice type of experience, which it does a fantastic job replicating that, and then it handles all the hard work for you. Whereas some of the other games, like if I play like an action PC, that's a closed engine. I play that for other reasons. If I just want to kick back and have a game, I do it that. If I want to play a cards and dice and kind of have a cards and dice feel, then I play Strat. Replay PC is kind of in between the two. But there's reasons I play this game. And again, I like the cards and dice feel. I like how Strat does things. I really do. And so I play this for different reasons than I play other games, is what I'm trying to get at. And sometimes you want to scratch a certain itch, and so you jump into Strat PC. Sometimes you want a different itch, so you go into another game. So I'm not saying this game is any better or any worse than another game because it's just different. It's kind of like, we're going out. Do you want pizza? Do you want Chinese food? Do you want hamburgers? None are better than the other. It just depends what you're in the mood for, is kind of how I look at it. I'm finding that there's more options in this game than I really thought there were. I watched a lot of videos on this game, a lot of videos. And let me tell you, none of the videos sold me on this game. In fact, they dissuaded me, if that's a word, of getting this game, because I had the hockey, and because I'm a hockey fan, I do the hockey. The football is actually better than I thought it was. It's just confusing as heck to find anything in that, but the football game is very fun to play. Basketball game, I have a hard time with because it's not working very well on my computer. Um, so, but when it came to the baseball game, I was like, what? There is just, when I saw the videos, I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this. I don't like how it's set up. I don't like how it looks in the whole bit. And then when I finally got it on my computer screen, and then I realized you could move everything around, and some things you could resize and make bigger, and that was a huge key for me, because you can see the screen here that I have, up here. That's my own custom layout. Is I move things around, I put things where I want them to go, and I happen to like this layout right here that I did. And the fact that I could do all that and not just have a default setting was a big deal for me. And I'm not really missing the logos either. As you know, I love putting team logos into things like Action PC and Replay and Inside Pitch, and any computer game that I have. I love dolling it up with fields and colors and logos and a whole bit. This game here, though, because I'm coming into it more of a cards and dice aspect, I'm not missing the dolling of it all up, if that makes sense. It's one thing Ron said. He goes, well, you won't be able to doll this up. And it's like, well, I know that's kind of a negative, but something, I'm not missing it as much as I thought I would. I really thought I'd be bumming that I couldn't, because I'm a logo guy. As you know, I get the hats and this and all the pennants. I love all that stuff, but I'm not missing it. I don't know what it is about this game, but as of right now, my first 15 to 20 games, I'm really not missing the logos. I'm enjoying the setup that I got. I did buy the old ballparks pack. So that's a huge deal, because I can, at least if I can see the ballparks, even though they're not really good, sharp graphics, it just gives me an idea of what's going on. And it gives me the feel that I'm playing in an old ballpark. And that's all I wanted. I just didn't want a generic ballpark. And I know some of the graphics are really terrible, but it just gives you the feel that you're in an old park. And here I'm playing in Philadelphia, and I have the Astrodome and Fenway, and they might not be 100% accurate photos, but at least it's somewhat of a representation. And that's fine with me. I really am. I'm really okay with the graphics for this. And I'm not missing some of the stuff that I do in other games. That being said, there's a lot more options in this game. Aside from moving the graphics and resizing them and putting them where you want and adding player photos and the whole bit, The idea that you can really it has such a sandbox feel to it. When I'm in the options, I'm looking around. It's like you can you know create a whole new schedule. You can have every team with a DH. It just it's a big sandbox. It really feels like it's a huge sandbox, and then you can actually sim the games. You don't have to play every game. That's what I really like about it, is that you can pick a game. Like I'm playing all the Roger Clemens games in '86. Everything else I'm simming, and that's all I want to do. I don't want to play every game. And the idea that I can just pick and choose what game I want to play and the rest is simmed, that's a big deal. And the inside sports games don't do that. And the inside sports games are great. And I love the inside sports games on the PC. They don't sim. And that's a deal breaker for a lot of people. It wasn't for me, but I don't do any long-term products with that. I can only do, one-offs or playoffs or tribute games or when I get in the mood to play it. But I can't do any bigger products. I mean, maybe I could play a one-team season, like I'm playing the Washington Capitals, their expansion team, to see how bad they are in that game. And 10 or 15 games into that. But aside from that, I can't play I can't do a whole season with all the teams. This you can. With Strat, you can. As Midlife Crisis stopped by. Um, you absolutely love Strat on the PC, but that I can't afford it. It's over. You think it's overpriced? And yeah, and you got to, well, you don't have to buy it every year. You don't have to buy the game every year. Um, and well, like I say, action PC is a different thing. They have their pros and their cons. Again, the fact that you have to buy every season here, that's kind of a drag. It's now $28 for a season, but for me, luckily, my baseball window is about this big. So for me, I won't be buying 20 seasons of this. I might buy, if they have a sale, buy 3 get 1 or something like that. That's when I'll go and I'll stock up, and I'll probably get, depending what the sale is at some point, I'll get 6 or 8 seasons, and that'll be fine for me. I'll get a handful of 70s and a handful of 80s, and I'm fine. That's what I like about it. So yeah, the fact that you do have to buy every season is kind of a drag. I don't like games that do that, but I understand that they have to make their money in the whole bit and whatever it is. Something else I like about this here is if I look at the field, right? I was playing a game in Toronto as Red Sox in Toronto, and the batter was kind of overlapping the catcher. Okay, so I really couldn't see their names very well. But you're able to edit the ballpark info. So I was able to slide the batter to the left and slide the batter to the right, and now the names weren't overlapping. I even the pitcher was a little forward, so I moved the pitcher back. And again, it's not a drag and drop with the mouse. You got to go in and punch in a number, which is a very antiquated way of doing it. But again, if you just move the number a little bit, you see which way it goes, and eventually you get it in the right spot. So last night I was playing. I was like, it was really late at night, and I says, I can't read the catcher's name because it's being covered by the batter. And I just went, and I spread them apart, and I moved the pitcher back, and I was like, that's all I need. That's all I need. When it comes to animation in this, there's not a ton of animation, but there's enough. And because it's a cards and dice experience for me, I'm not really looking for, to follow the whole thing around like an action PC does, or maybe Replay has some graphics on there as well. I like to see where the balls hit. That I do like. So I see the pitch and I see where the balls hit, whether it's, to whatever player, whatever part of the outfield. And that's enough for me to absorb the play. And that's kind of what I'm looking to do with it. So when I say, it's a hit to left field, I see the hit to left field. When it's hit to short, I can see it's hit to short. And then you can turn that on or off. And I have it going really fast. So it's boom, the ball's right there. But I do like the animation that it's got. I think is just enough. I think any more, like if I saw the ball being thrown around the field, I think that might be too much for this particular game, because I'm not here to do that. I'm here for different reasons. But just to see when the pitch comes in, okay, I look at the card here and it says, okay, it's hit to where. Then I follow it. So that I just want to follow where the hit was, and then after that, I read the play, and that's the whole bit there. Oh yeah, you do have to buy Strat every year, according to Steve here. If they re-release a season, or if you want to buy the new one, yes. For me, I don't play modern baseball, so for me, it's not a big deal. And if I heard they were coming out with the season, I might buy it before they upgrade it, and then I'm all set. So if you're not playing the new seasons, which I don't, it doesn't really affect me as much. So there's that there. And the field layout is weird. Yep, I get it. But I mean, I figured it out. It was like 300, so I moved it to 320. And did I go the right way or not? No, I go back and move it. I didn't have a problem with it. It's weird. It's clunky, but it wasn't impossible. It just took an extra second to figure. Okay, but it worked. And I was half asleep last night at midnight when I did that. And I was like, this is great. I just slid everything over. And it's like, fine. I wish you could grab it, but it doesn't. And that's fine. Again, Strat does it their own way. But everything's in there. If you look, it's in there, and it really does. And I'm not trying to make excuses for it. I'm just saying that I got it to work, as clunky as it was. I got it to work, and it worked fine. I looked at the app of baseball for Windows, but there's nothing to do in that. You just watch, and as much as I like watching stuff, I also want to roll dice or see the dice or do something. The app of Go was not bad, but it's a web browse thing, and it's too finicky for me. But anyway, getting back to the Strat here. I got my notes here. I want to take a look here. So I talked about how you can move the graphics around. I do like that. How you can change some fonts. You can change some colors. I was watching was it the videos by Mo, who was doing some mods. He did like 4 mod videos on this, and he was going nuts. And if you really want to get into the files and the coding of it and sizing, you can really make this your own. You really can. For me, I was fine just clicking and dragging the stuff around to where I wanted it. In fact, I don't know if this is going to be my final layout or not here, but it works because I can put the camera here and I can put the dice box here so you can see my dice rolls. And I got the play-by-play beneath, so right below the batter, you can see, I don't know if it shows up on the screen here, but right below McCarver is the batter, what he did that day, and then below that is the play-by-play. And I like having all that right in a row right there. So the idea that you can move all this around is really nice. I wish they would do this in hockey, because hockey has so much unused space on the screen. It really does. Playing this feels like cards and dice. And that's why I play this, because I like the Strat baseball. I wish I played basic, because I love playing the basic, but as I'm playing advanced and super advanced, I'm slowly learning some of that. And so maybe I wouldn't go back to basic, back to basics, as they say. I don't think I could play super advanced on the table. That's the first thing I will say. Just, it is super advanced, and I couldn't do it. I can play the basic, no problem. I can play some of the advanced, but beyond that, I just have a hard time. In fact, I even have a hard time with super advanced hockey. So for me, I got to find my sweet spot between complexity and fun. And right now, advanced is kind of where it is. But I play super advanced on the PC. I try to follow it. It was weird. Is when I first started playing, I didn't like the ballpark effects, because I don't like the fact that I have a card and then it changes. And I was like, I don't like that. But then as I found out that there's, a couple of ballpark effects on each card, then I was like, maybe that's not a bad idea. As long as the computer points it out and I know what's what, and then I can look at the ballpark effects. I'm actually kind of enjoying the ballpark effects now. I really am. So the more I'm kind of playing the advanced and super advanced rules, the more I'm kind of warming up to them. I like to roll the dice, see what the result's going to be, and then input the dice and see if I'm correct, is what I like to do. So I like to try to solve that puzzle, and I really like that. Todd B stops by. My Stratomatic baseball game in 13 old seasons sits dormant because of an authorization process. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the Strat. When Strat works, it's awesome. When it doesn't, it's a pain. It's terrible. Yeah, and I agree. Although I will say that when my basketball game messed up, I tried to uninstall some seasons and uninstall the game and put it back in, thinking that it would maybe help. It really didn't. And some of my seasons wouldn't work. And when I contacted them, they gave me the website. I put in the season codes, generated new codes. I put them in and it worked. So for me, everything kind of worked again. Although, like I said, the basketball game, the animations still don't work. So I have to play that like a cards and dice game. But the game will work, less the animation, and all my seasons still work. So for me, as much as a pain that is for some people, and I understand that, I didn't have a problem with that with the basketball game. So those are some of my early thoughts. Again, I like the fact that you can roll your own dice. It's got more options than I thought, not only with, the graphics and moving them around and resizing them, but the idea that how you play, when you start the season out, do you want to do as played? Do you want to do as carded? That's kind of neat. Ron's playing as carded. So that means he can only use the guys that were carded on the team. I like the as played. especially when I'm doing the Clemens replay, because I feel like it's more like playing the actual season. But the idea to have both is really cool. I also like the little game replay at the end. If you save the box score in the play account, like the play-by-play account, you can go back and watch the game on the little gamecast screen with the stadium. That's kind of neat too. We found that the other day, and it turns out that football and hockey have that too, similar things. And it's just kind of just it's thrown in there. It's just kind of added fun. But there's a lot of things in here. It has more options than I thought. Let's put it that way. I'm having more fun than I thought. After watching other people play it, I was just like, I don't think I'm going to like this, but I bit the bullet and got it. And I'm not regretting it. I played a ton of games on here. I'm really, really enjoying it. And just like the hockey and just like the football, it's kind of helping me learn the cards and dice version of the game. Although I will admit, I'm enjoying the PC version way more than the cards and dice version. I know that's kind of silly. Like the hockey, I still like to play the hockey with the cards. Even in the basketball, like the cards. The football, I will never play cards and dice. That's just it's a 2-player game, so I play that on the computer. This here, though, it's like I would almost be perfectly fine playing this on the computer, letting the computer doing the simming and the heavy lifting, so I can roll the dice. I can see the cards here, so I almost don't need the cards and dice to play this. And I thought about breaking up the cards and looking at them, but it's like, I'm enjoying this. And if I played on the table, like I said, I'd have to play basic or advanced. I couldn't do super. So if I can play super on the computer, then all the better. So I don't think I'd be playing much cards and dice anymore now that I played this, because I really like this, and I feel like it just does everything I want it to do. Again, going back, it sims the games. That's a big, big deal. So when I want to do a longer replay, the idea that I can pick a game of the week and sim the rest of them is huge. And I know, a lot of the other ones do, but not every computer game does that. But the ones that do, I really, really like. Yes, rolling the dice and inputting and that's the other thing too. You can do with this is you can you could play Opera on the tabletop and input the results in here like you can with PC Replay Baseball. So that's another thing that is very helpful here. Although I think it's a little bit easier with PC Replay than it is with this one here. I haven't tried it with this one yet. It's very graphical with the PC Replay. This one here is very menu driven. It probably works fine. I haven't tried it yet, but the idea, I was going to pick up like 82. Oh, no, I have 82. And I thought about maybe playing a cards and dice, and inputting the stats on here for a season that PC Replay doesn't have. So it's nice to have this added feature. I feel this has got a very sandbox feel to it. I feel you can really set this up and play the season as you want to play it. I'm pretty sure I haven't tried it yet, but imagine if it's like the other games, you could trade players and move them around and put whatever play you want on whatever team. That's what I did in hockey a few times and had some fun. I think you could do draft teams too. Although there's a lot of I don't know a lot about baseball, so I wouldn't do a lot of that with baseball like I would with the hockey. But I just feel like it's pretty open to play however you want to play it. I really like the fact it's got a sandbox feel. Yeah, the graphics I wish were a little better or a little different. But again, it's something you work around. It's just, you just work around the best you can. Let's see. Hey, Hockey Fan 76 shows up. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, the game will do behind the scenes stuff. That's the other thing is it's kind of weird is that it'll drop a bunt and it's like, I don't get the roll for that. I say bunt, it's just bunt. There's no role for that. I kind of wish it would do that. There's a few things that it does, like hits and runs, I think that I didn't have a chance to roll on. Now, again, I'm mostly playing with the computer controlling the team, but I did play last night. I controlled the Red Sox, so I did get a few more boxes to pop up the roll dice on, but still there's a few that it does automatically, like the advanced fielding. When I was trying to learn the first few games, I had advanced on, not super advanced. And advanced fielding is done behind the scenes. I don't get the roll. So I have to put on the super advanced to do the roll. But I'm finding I really like that, because it's, you get the X chart and it's like it's hard hit to short or it's hit in the right field. Is he going to make the play or not? He's got a tough play. So you roll those dice. It's like, is he going to make this play? And you see the results come up and you get that little bit of drama right there. And I do kind of like that. Whereas in advance, you don't get it. It just tells you if it happens. So I've been playing super advanced fielding. I'm really, really enjoying watching the results come up on the X chart when I roll the dice. I really like that. And again, this is kind of the Strat way. You got to learn how to do it the Strat way, just like you did, the hockey and the football and the baseball. It's very different than a lot of other games, and it feels like like Ron said, it feels like 4 different people coded the 4 different games because they're that different. They're not vastly different, but they're different enough that it wasn't the same cookie cutter feel for all 4 games. They do things quite a bit differently in certain circumstances. Oh yeah, hockey fan. The stat package is unbelievable. In fact, the hockey stat package is great. This stat package is great. You can find just about everything, but it's finding it. That is the key, is trying to find it. So if you can find it, then you're good to go. And again, I play this for the reasons, that I don't play other games. I play other games for certain reasons. I play this game for certain reasons. So that's what I like to do with that. And yeah, that's about it. And so all in all, I'm really enjoying it, despite its flaws, despite the reputation that Strat has. I'm enjoying this game. As long as it works, I'm enjoying the game. I'm having fun with it, and it's doing a lot more than I thought it would. That's what it's. I'm pleasantly surprised, I guess, is what I'm going to come at, because I really didn't think it was going to do all this, and I didn't think I'd have this much fun with it, and I didn't think I'd have this much flexibility with it, because it's a Strat game. But it is. It is flexible. It is doing what I pretty much want to do with the game. And so overall, I got to give it, a thumbs up so far. As far as the accuracy, I can't talk about that because I haven't played enough games, and I don't know enough about baseball, quite honestly. I mean, if I'm playing and the Red Sox go 0 and 162, yeah, there's a problem with the game. Yeah, I could see that. But as far as everything else goes, I'm playing it and I'm just enjoying the game, and I'm not going back and trying to compare real stats to this game. So as far as the accuracy, I can't tell you. And with most games, that's kind of how I feel. So I just want to play the game and enjoy it. And if I'm having fun, that's all that matters to me. And if there's something that really sticks out, if the 76 Buccaneers win the Super Bowl, we got a problem. I get it. But as long as it's fun and things are close enough stat-wise, again, once you roll the dice, everything's out the window. Because I did have the 76 Buccaneers beat the Steelers in one of the football games I played. Not Strat football. It was one of the Downey games. They beat them because I kept rolling high for Pittsburgh and low for Tampa. Tampa needed this amount to score, and I kept getting it. Pittsburgh had this amount to score, and I wasn't getting it. And that's just kind of how that game went. So that could happen when you roll the dice. Again, like they say, that even the worst teams in the league, they have to beat somebody. They do beat somebody in real life, and they will beat them here. So they got to beat somebody. And so that's why you have those upsets. So as far as the accuracy goes, I can't really speak for it. I haven't played a whole season. I probably never will. I'll just play some spot games. But I'm enjoying what I've played very much. So anyway, so there's some initial thoughts on Strat PC Baseball. And I'll probably be back with later on as I play more games and maybe get deeper into some of my replays. And maybe if I pick up a new season or two, I might have some different thoughts on that. Am I familiar with a hotkey quick play until there's a base runner? It makes the game go faster. No, I'm not familiar with that. But I'm enjoying just rolling the dice and seeing the at bat. So for me, I don't need to speed the game up to that point. I like to see how the game unfolds. To me, it's not a race. And that's the other thing I like about this is, like, I like the hockey game, but the hockey game does take a long time, and sometimes I don't have a long time. Whether it's just physically don't have a long time or mentally I don't have a long time. The baseball game plays really quick, so I'm kind of playing the baseball game because of all the features. It plays quick. I like how it looks. I like how it plays. I got a cards and dice feel. I can roll my own dice, and it plays really quick. So I can play a bunch of baseball games, and I do enjoy that. The hockey, it takes a lot longer. It's a little more clunky. It's not as polished as the baseball. So I have to really be in the mood to sit down and play a full hockey game. So, but anyway, so I'm not looking to race through the game at any point. I just haven't. So anyway, Jim, thank you so much. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this for a little bit. And as I like to do here on the channel, just talk about some things. Again, first thoughts, basically, I'm a handful of games in, probably 15 to 20. And as I play more, maybe I'll discover that I like it more, or maybe I discover that I like it less, and then I'll report back. But anyway, hey, I'm Dave. You guys all have a good night. I get a busy weekend. I'm working day and night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm not sure when you'll see me again. Hopefully I can come on Sunday, but probably Friday and Saturday, I'm out to lunch. So I'll just hit Q and it shows all the action on the cards eliminate the need to click to roll the dice. Okay, I'll have to check that out. All right. I'll to check that out. If I hit Q, I will check that out. So, hey guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.